seniors against freshmen, what do you look at as a coach to get a sense of, is that going well, is it not going well?
Well, I think it has to do with who those guys are in the jerseys, the blue ones and the white ones tomorrow night. I don't know that when the ball's thrown up that anyone, says that this freshman or that senior is doing this or is that. I think it's how they're prepared in the days and the practices leading up to the game and how they've gone into it, what their approach is and what our approach is. That's what's, I guess, the most concerning thing for us at this point is, okay, what are we doing? What are our guys doing to best be prepared for tomorrow night?
So what's the best thing you guys did on Saturday to change things around here?
We won.
Can you get less specific?
I think the guys had fun. I think they were excited to be back at home. So I think they were into the preparation. They were into the process that we have, now become aware of as young guys of what is necessary to be successful in this league. I think also, during the game, our guys now are much more equipped to handle all different, I guess, situations. We've been through a lot. We've been up, we've been down, we've, been up and blitzed, like we did at A&M. We've not shot the ball well. We've made shots early, we've made shots late. We've had different guys play well during different times of the game. So I think it's more of just a comfort level with our guys that we're starting to see, and they are comfortable with whatever happens. I think what you've seen early in the year is this happened, that's a first. Then that happened, that's a first. So for our guys, I think, now we're experienced. We're still freshmen, we're still inexperienced sophomores at times, but for them, it's there's a comfort level, I think, there for them that is definitely starting to show in their play.
Joe, could you sense any kind of a weight being lifted with finally getting the win from the kids?
I think they were excited. Yeah, they were thrilled to win. I think they knew that it was a big win. I think they knew that Alabama was a very good opponent. I think from playing against some of those guys growing up, I think that through our preparation, they were able to see how good Alabama had played. They know that they had, had a couple wins recently over some teams and some teams that we had recently lost to. So I think for our guys, understanding how good everybody is and how hard everybody plays, and it's going to be the same thing again tomorrow night. We'll go into Bud Walton Arena, and it's going to be loud, and you're going to have a group of guys that have not beat Kentucky since they've been there at Bud Walton Arena, and that's something that I think our guys now understand what is on the front of their jersey and what that means to folks. I think they also understand what the name on the back of the jersey means to certain folks too, and that this is an opportunity for us to play well against said player. This guy's a freshman, this guy is this guy's that, like so many guys that play at Kentucky have been used to in the past with the individual awards and accomplishments. And there's a responsibility for the name on the front as well as for the name on the back.
Before that Alabama game, did you all talk about the losing streak or must-wins, or is there a risk of doing more harm?
No. I mean, we talk about just preparing for each game and controlling things that you can control, and that's your preparation, that's your sleep, that's your habits that you're building, that's your eating, that's your lifting, and get yourself ready. That's what we talk about. We're going to go play another game tomorrow night, and how they prepare is going to be, paramount for what we believe is going to be a big-time atmosphere against an experienced backcourt with a tremendous front court player. And we've just got to be ready to play each possession and then be ready to play possessions for 40 minutes.
What challenges stand out that Arkansas is going to present to you guys?
I I think, first of all, when they play at home, they play with a great pace. They play with, a fever on defense, and they're a team that really tries to get after you and put pressure on you both on offense and on defense. So we have to first be ready for transition. I think that's always something that's important down there. And then you've got to be alert, and that's something that, especially some of our guards are not always alert off the ball, and we've got to be ready to play for the entire shot clock.
Kevin has the two early fouls, doesn't play much in the second half, or the first half, and then PJ, the early turnovers, but they both have a successful second half. Is that a big step forward to show guys they can kind of come back from earlier mistakes in the game?
Yeah, I think, at this time of the year, I think all of our guys are taking steps forward. And it's, you could say that, kind of just what I just said, off the ball defense is something that we talk, with some of our guys about. And then, Shea has 2 big steals down the stretch the other night, against Alabama. So it's something that our guys have to understand the next play. And I think with young people, that's what we're working towards is them moving towards the next play. So yes, I think there was big steps, and I think those guys understanding, okay, what's happened has happened, but there's going to be plenty more possessions, plenty more plays to be made, and then to be ready to go and make them.
Cal also said that you guys are still working on getting in a rhythm of how you want to play, your style, I guess is what is that? What do you guys envision at this point as your style?
Well, I think that we've always been, since Coach has been here, a transition team. And then also we've always had the ability to grind it out, as he might say. And if it needs to be a low possession game, and especially as we're, tiptoeing here towards March, I mean, the possessions are going to, decrease in all games, and each possession becomes more important. So I think we're preparing for March, as Cal would say, with his eyes set on that and how we're going to teach and how we're going to play. So I think that we're a team, obviously, that can play in transition, but also, be comfortable playing in a half-court game.
In the preparedness for this past game, was there an extra edge or energy that you saw in practices, in the film sessions that came out on the court and in the play yesterday?
I think our guys are, like I said earlier, I think they're embracing, how tough this league is night in, night out. There's no game that you can just kind of roll out and play. So I think they understand, and especially, on Saturday with Alabama, partly just because they played probably against, Colin Sexton. They played with him at some USA basketball stuff. They understood who he was. They'd also played against John Petty on some of the circuit stuff. So these guys understand the quality now of everybody in our league, not just the guys that are their age. And that will be, extremely important tomorrow night just because of the age difference, in some of Arkansas's players and some of ours.
How much of a positive impact is it on the mental game of people like Claudia Green that, when Knox and some of these other big scores go out, that they're able to step up and bear the weight of the team, at least for, a half or however long?
Yeah, and I mean, Quad A is a tremendous scorer, and that's what we need out of him is to be ready, to be engaged on offense, and we're asking him to do a lot. A lot of these guys are being asked to do a lot, and he's a guy that has always been ready, and I think he's put some extra time in over the last couple weeks and has earned his success, like that he was on Saturday, and happy for Quad A, but also know that right now there's a responsibility to be ready to do that every game.
They're a big guy, Arkansas freshman, big guy. What stands out when you watch him play?
I think he's extremely active. And those are the guys that, are really, really talented and, similar to some of the ones that we've had here. He can fly up and down the court on both sides and can impact the game when he doesn't have the ball. But then when he does have it, I think he's got, a tremendous package of offensive moves. And but I think, before we go into any of that, he just plays really, really hard. And that's something that young guys across landscape of college basketball, the struggle to do consistently. And, he's been a guy that from what we've seen and, from what I've seen personally, seems to play, hard every single play.
And Barford and Macon, they're two different players, right? Two different styles of play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think their entire backcourt, is very different. They're all unique, but they're three guys who can give you fits, at different points of the game, and throughout each possession, you're going to get hit with all three of them. So you've got to be ready. You got to be engaged on the ball. You got to be engaged off the ball, and you've got to be ready to play fast. But then you've also got to be ready to play the possession out as well.
Joel, what ways is the SEC better now than when you first got here?
I'm sorry, say it again.
In what ways is the SEC overall better than when you got here?
I think that it's deeper, both individually with the teams. I think there's really good players, 1 through 8, 1 through 9 on each team. That's impressive to me. I think it's experienced as well. I think you have some guys that have been through the battles of the SEC, and the league has just improved each year, so then those players are getting better. And then flip that back, I think those guys get better by playing against really good players, similar to what we talk about here. So I think that is the number one, reason why the league's better. The players. I mean, the players are what makes anybody go. And this is in no disrespect to anyone that was here when I got here, but I think you have some really good coaches, that have come into the league the last couple years. And I think that is, I think that's head coaches, and I think that's assistant coaches. I think you look across and the benches on this league, and very similar to ours. I mean, you have a guy like Kenny Payne, who's an assistant coach here. You have a guy like Tony Barbee that's on our staff that have been through, the entire walk of college basketball, and I think you can find that maybe not as good as the staff that we have, in my opinion, and with those two guys especially, but across the benches in our league, I think you have some very, very, very good coaches.
And how much does Arkansas feed off turnovers, and how well do you think you guys are with ball security?
I think it's the number one thing for us. I think Cal even said that on the teleconference today. You can't have live ball turnovers. You can't have unforced turnovers where you don't have an opportunity to set your defense. That's a big part for us in any game. I think when we have a chance to set our defense, use our length, use our athleticism, we're much better than if we turn the ball over and we're playing at a disadvantage, and you allow that team to tilt the court, and run downhill at you, and you're going uphill. So it's something that's going to be very important for us to take care of the basketball early in the possession, and then also make sure that we get as many quality shots as possible.
Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Have a good day.